envy. All you do is scroll, compare, as the anger builds, as the injustice builds, as the hatred builds, as the unfairness builds. Everything sucks. You're stuck and everyone else is having the best time of their lives. When you have envy, it comes on slowly sometimes. Sometimes it hits you hard. Often it's during setbacks in your own life. Often it's feeling frustration in your own life. And then we start to compare. Everyone else's life is perfect. Everyone else's life is just so simple. You're the only one that always has it tough. It sucks. Really sucks. I know myself for when I was going through rehabilitation and return from accidents, that especially with social media, envy would slowly eat away at you. Even though you wanted your friends to have fun and enjoy the things they were doing, but you just couldn't. You couldn't be out there. You're comparing what you could have been, what might have been, what you haven't got. Envy is the first hurdle in the steps towards happiness, because envy often stops you from accepting the things of where you're at in particular and what you need to do next, because you're constantly comparing yourself to where some other people are, or what they have, or what they perceive to have. And the worst thing is, it's what they perceive to have, not what they have. We don't post lots of awful pictures of our mundane, dreary lives. We want to make ourselves look good. We want ourselves look happy. And so sometimes the most unhappiest people I've ever known have a stream of photos and situations that aren't really based on their own life, their own experiences. Yet the person at the other end, scrolling through their phone, looking at it time and time again, thinks that must be their life. How do they have so much going on and yet I have nothing? Envy often keeps you down, especially when you're trying to do rehab, especially when you're trying to get over a setback. You start to compare yourself to other things and other situations that aren't yours. The honest conversation is, where am I now? What do I need to do next? What will bring me happiness and joy? What can I do now to make my life better or improve, or to feel the first steps of fulfillment and worthy? Let's plow into this journey together, where we step away from envy and comparison and we step towards the things that we can do in our life and that we can make a difference. And one of those first steps is to understand comparing yourself to someone else isn't a fair platform. They haven't lived your life, you haven't lived theirs. You don't know exactly what's happening in their life as they don't know what's happening in yours. Sometimes one of the hardest things about during rehab or setbacks is your time stands still, their time seems to fly on. No one else is stuck like you're stuck. You're having no improvement. And yet, sometimes becoming aware of where you're actually genuinely at and what you want to do next is one of the greatest steps that we can make in any life. So, becoming self-aware, becoming and acknowledging and accepting where we're at, and then putting in steps to play that we can make change. Making change, resetting, is one of the strongest things that we can ever do in our own lives. And this takes us away from envy and jealousy, because then we actually are in charge of our own joy, our own happiness and our own well-being. So instead of feeling stuck, instead of feeling overwhelmed, learn to put down that social media page. Learn to put that phone down and not compare and not perceive what other people are doing and their lives. Take charge of your own life. Make sure that you're putting your best self forward for each step you can possibly make. So instead of thinking what you can't do, acknowledge what you can do. Acknowledge what you can change, or what you're trying to change, or the steps you're making. And also, the other big thing is acknowledge sometimes how far you've come. Often little steps day by day feel like nothing at all. And yet, as you make every step of progress, it might only seem small, it might seem insufficient. However, when you pile it all together, when you build up and stand on that next little bit of foundation that you've built, you've made progress, you've made success. It mightn't look it to anyone else, but those that know you, those that love you, and to your own self, what you're doing is progress. Comparison is the first thief of happiness. Envy is the green monster that keeps you from actually stepping into your own life and accepting what you have and what you can do next. If you want to get over your setbacks, get through rehabilitation, understand that your time has slowed, an understanding of where you're at now as compared to where you want to go, then you need to step aside and step away from that burning hatred and self-destruction that comparison and envy can gnaw away at you. We've all had setbacks. We've all had things that we were planning to do, and for whatever reason, either through our control or out of our control, and those things have become adrift. But that doesn't mean all is lost. We can still reset life. So instead of wallowing in self-pity, instead of sitting there endlessly scrolling through that phone, make sure you have time away from it. Time that you're putting into yourself. Time that you're putting into self-improvement. Sometimes one of the greatest things you can do through those stages is take a photo journal, especially if you're in rehab, because every little bit seems like a painful, arduous journey, and yet if you look back over a few months, you'll realize how far you've come. It is tough. It's really tough at times. Having any sort of setback, sometimes not feeling very validated for what you've been through, but comparing yourself to someone else will only eat away at you. It won't get you to where you want to be. So let envy be the fuel for change, if you want to think of it that way. Let envy push you to be the better person. Make sure that you are the one that takes those hikes that you see other people doing. Make sure you're the one going to the movies instead of being stuck at home and thinking oh, it's all too tough. Think of the things that you are grateful for. Think of the things that you have progressed. Think of the fact that you actually still have an opportunity to change. Just because you haven't changed yet doesn't mean it's not possible. Also think of what the costs are of these thoughts. How much are they actually holding you back from the things that you want to do? What's the next small step that you can make to make that difference? To step towards the things that you do want to be doing rather than things that you're not doing, or more importantly, things that other people are doing that have nothing to do with your life. So remembering this is your moment in time. You don't have to be stuck here on this phone comparing yourself to someone else. You can be making the change that you want to do right now. Make a list of things that you want to do next. Don't procrastinate any longer. Make them small though. Make them doable. Make them achievable. Kick some winners. There's nothing better than having a few small wins, building on your ego, making yourself feel that you can do things, rather than constantly set a bigger goal that is unachievable or takes too long to achieve, and then you feel a sense of failure because you've set yourself up to fail. Set yourself up to win. Have that little goal. Have that little win. Feel the acknowledgement of actually achieving and ticking off a box. So take a break from social media. Don't let it rule everything that you're doing. Understand the people that you are around you. Are they toxic? Are they encouraging you? Are they wanting to put you down so they stay better? Do a whole review of the things that you're watching, doing, hearing, seeing, and is this eating away at your envy? Is this making sure that you don't have any improvement? Are people encouraging you to improve? Or are they letting you stay stuck where you are? Be brave. Reach out. Find the people who will actually help you step towards your goals. But one of the biggest things we can always do is remember that we can slide into envy or comparison. And we've got to understand and be honest with ourselves that that's what we've done. Because once we've acknowledged it, accepted it, then we can actually change it. Change it. Do something about it. Do something for you. Don't do it for the social media. Don't do it for someone that you've never met before. Do it for the person who matters the most. Do it for yourself. Make that list today. Think of those small steps that are going to make you achieve and step forward. Change. Be better. Grow to the person you want to be. Not the person you're comparing yourself to. I hope this makes you think about how your life is being controlled, or are you taking control. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, or it helps you have a little thought-provoking moment. So look, talk, understand, and then learn to move forward again. Compare yourself with where you were. Compare yourself with who you want to be next. That's the only race you're running. Don't eat yourself from the inside out. If you're struggling with envy, or you know someone who's struggling with envy, show them this video. Hopefully that will let a little light shine on their problem. Let them hopefully understand acceptance. Not all envy is bad. Sometimes comparing yourself to someone and spurring yourself on to make sure you make the changes that you want, that can be great. However, when envy is full of hate, then all that hatred is actually being festered back in you. It's not hurting them. It's not changing their life. The price you're paying is way too high for the life that you want to live. Be kind to the person you are, and hopefully you'll grow into the person that you want to be. Please like and subscribe. Take care. Catch you on the next video.